While you were sleeping, the rules of the game changed. President Trump didn't just end a government shutdown, he cleared the stage. Most traders are staring at the screen, wondering why XRP is stuck at $158, paralyzed between $150 and $1.70. They see a boring chart. I see a countdown. April 3rd isn't just a date on the calendar. It is the day the Clarity Act is set to become law. The day the wall between speculative crypto and global utility is built. While the banks pretend to argue in White House summits, they are already tokenizing billions in diamonds and real-world assets on the XRP ledger. The price isn't waiting for a breakout. The price is waiting for the legal switch. When that switch flips, $4 becomes a memory in minutes. We are heading into dead space, a vacuum where $10 is the only destination. You can listen to the noise, or you can watch the physics of the finish line. I am the calm analyst, and the time for guessing is over. Let's look at the reality of the charts, away from the panic and the hype. Right now, XRP is sitting at $1.58. If you look at the one-week chart, the casual observer sees a flat line, a price fluctuating aimlessly between $150 and $1.70. But for those of us who study the physics of liquidity, this isn't stagnation. This is coiling. Notice what happens when the market tries to rebound. Even as Bitcoin sits precariously about 76K, XRP is consistently outperforming both Bitcoin and Ethereum on the recovery moves. Look at the numbers. Bitcoin down 2.7%, XRP only down 1%. This relative strength is a silent signal. It tells us that the sell walls are thinning and the buy pressure is becoming institutional. The most important chart right now isn't XRP USD. It is the XRP versus Bitcoin chart. We are currently at the bottom of a multi-year downward trend. Historically, when this chart hits these levels, we don't get a bounce, we get a violent reversal. This is the moment before the snap. We've seen this setup multiple times this cycle, where it looks like the breakout is coming. Then a delay hits and Bitcoin drags the market down. But this time is different. Why? Because the finish line is no longer a theory. It is a scheduled legal event. The crowd is frustrated because they feel the parabolic move is taking too long. They say, "We heard this in December, we heard this in January." But they fail to understand that sudden wealth requires systemic preparation. The institutions don't want you to buy at $158. They want to get bored. They want you to sell your position because nothing is happening. And they want you to chase the price when it teleports to $10. Don't let the sideways movement fool you. The coil is tight. The pressure is building. And once that parabolic move starts, it will come out of nowhere and take the entire market by surprise. Are you watching the price, or are you watching the potential energy of the coil? The stage is being cleared, and the match has just been struck. On Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026, President Trump officially signed the bill to end the government shutdown. To the masses, this is about government offices reopening. But to the insiders, this is the signal for the gears of the new financial system to start turning again. We now have a concrete timeline. Behind the scenes of the high-stakes White House summit held this past Monday, the word on everyone's lips was the Clarity Act. Industry veterans are pointing to April 3rd as the definitive date for the president to sign this act into law. This isn't just another piece of paper. This is the legal switch we have been waiting for. The Clarity Act is designed to do one thing with surgical precision. It will draw a bright line between SEC and CFTC jurisdiction. It will officially separate utility from speculation. Why all the delays? Why did the summit on Monday feel like a sit-down where nothing got done? Because the legacy banks are in a state of strategic panic. During the summit, while Ripple participated directly, the conversation turned to yield and defy. The banks know that once the Clarity Act is signed, their monopoly on cross-border settlements ends. They are trying to delay the vote. They are trying to complicate the language. But the momentum is now unstoppable. There is a false narrative being pushed that the Clarity Act is huge for Bitcoin. Let me correct that. It is huge for XRP and XLM. Bitcoin is a store of value, but XRP is the utility king. This bill will acknowledge that XRP is ready to function as the world's primary bridge asset without the constant threat of regulatory ambiguity. The institutions want to delay this because they need more time to build their own pipes. But Ripple has already built the network. The April 3rd deadline is not just a date for the crypto community. It is a deadline for the global financial reset. While the crowd is distracted by the drama of the shutdown, we are focused on the legislative fuse. The Clarity Act is the key that unlocks the trillions, and the key is about to be turned. Let's move from politics to the mathematics of the snap. Most people are asking if XRP can hit $2 or $3. I'm here to tell you that these numbers are merely speed bumps on the way to a much larger destination. Look at the history of assets that have achieved full regulatory and institutional clarity. When an asset breaks its all-time high and clears the $4 range, it enters what analysts call dead space. In this zone, there are no historic sell walls. There is no consolidation memory. When demand from the Clarity Act hits this vacuum, the price doesn't climb. It teleports. We are looking at a move from $4 to $10 that could happen so fast, the exchanges might struggle to keep up with the order flow. But what fills this vacuum? It is not just retail hype. It is real-world asset, RWA tokenization. Just yesterday, news broke from the UAE about tokenizing over $280 million worth of certified diamonds on the XRP ledger. Think about that. This isn't a pilot program. It's a billion dirham reality. If the ledger can tokenize diamonds in Dubai, it can tokenize the $1 quadrillion market of global assets. If the XRP ledger captures even 10% of that global liquidity, we are no longer looking at crypto prices. We are looking at a systemic repricing where double digits become the baseline and 3 digits become a mathematical probability. We also need to watch the ETF tracker. We are seeing consistent inflows of $50 million a day into institutional products. This creates a scarcity shock. While you are waiting for a pullback to buy more, the institutions are vacuuming up the supply. They know that once the utility-driven demand kicks in, there won't be enough XRP on exchanges to satisfy the requirements of the begs. Analysts like Dark Defender and others are seeing the same structure, the expanded C wave. We are at the very tip of this wave. The sideways movement you see today is the final accumulation before the vertical move. On the day of the snap, there will be no second chances. There will be no pullbacks to $150. There will only be the realization that the future arrived, and you were either ready for it, or you were left watching the charts in disbelief. Are you positioned for the teleportation, or are you waiting for the news to tell you it's safe? Let's talk about the final mental barrier, the exhaustion of the finish line. We are currently in a period of sideways boredom. It is designed to make you question your research. It is designed to make you think maybe I was wrong. But look at the reality of 2026. We have institutional inflows of $50 million a day. We have the Clarity Act scheduled for April. We have real-world assets already moving on-chain in Dubai and the UAE. The logic of the system is screaming ready, while the noise of the market is screaming give up. Most retail investors are waiting for the price to hit $5 to feel safe. But safety in this market is an illusion. By the time you feel safe, the opportunity for generational wealth has already passed. The institutions aren't waiting for confirmation. They are creating the infrastructure. While you are watching a red candle, BlackRock and the banks are watching the pipes they've spent years building. I am not a robot. I am not AI. I am a person who understands that markets are won in the mind before they are won on the charts. If you can handle the boredom of $158, you will be mentally prepared for the insanity of $10. But if you sell out of frustration now, you are not just losing money, you are losing your seat at the greatest financial reset in history. The finish line is not a destination, it is a transition. We want to cross it with our positions intact. As we wrap up today's analysis, remember this: XRP doesn't need a narrative. It has utility. It doesn't need moonshots. It has adoption. The reversal that we are expecting will come out of nowhere. It will be fast. It will be violent. And it will be permanent. Don't let the red days distract you from the grand design. Keep your eyes on April 3rd. Keep your eyes on the tokenization flow. Stay patient, stay positive, and let's cross that finish line together. Thank you for watching. In a market fueled by emotion and noise, we thrive on data and composure. Remember, haste leads to loss, while calm analysis leads to victory. Thank you for your trust, and thank you for being part of this rational community. I am the calm analyst. Stay patient, stay rational, and as we always do, we don't wait for the future. We plan for it.